Once upon a time, in a beautiful forest by a flowing river, there lived a clever little monkey. Every day, he swung from tree to tree, enjoying the delicious fruits on the riverbank. But little did he know, an adventure with a tricky crocodile was waiting for him.
Join Kids Hut Stories.
One sunny morning, a crocodile swam up to the tree where the monkey was eating juicy mangoes. "Hello, little monkey," called the crocodile with a friendly smile. "Those fruits look tasty. Would you share one with me?" The monkey, kind and generous, threw a mango to the crocodile. This small act of kindness started a unique friendship. Every day, the monkey would share a fruit, and the crocodile would enjoy a tasty snack while they chatted about life. One day, the crocodile's wife heard about his new friend, the monkey. She had a greedy thought. "If the monkey eats sweet fruits every day," she said, "then his heart must be the sweetest thing of all. Bring me the monkey's heart as a special treat." The crocodile was shocked, but he loved his wife and wanted to please her. So, with a heavy heart, he decided to trick his friend into coming to his home. The next day, the crocodile invited the monkey to his house across the river. "You'll love it there. We have even more delicious fruits than these," he said with a smile, hiding his true plan. The monkey, curious and trusting, agreed. But since he couldn't swim, he hopped onto the crocodile's back to cross the river. As they reached the middle of the river, the crocodile couldn't hold in his plan any longer. "Dear friend," he said, "I have to be honest. My wife wants to eat your heart because it must be so sweet from all the fruits you eat." The monkey was shocked but quickly came up with a clever idea. "Oh, my friend," he replied. "If only you had told me sooner. I left my heart up in the tree. We'll have to go back and get it." The crocodile believed him and turned around, swimming back to the tree. The moment they reached the shore, the monkey leapt off the crocodile's back and climbed high into his tree. "You tricked me, and now I know you are not a true friend," he said. The crocodile realized his mistake and felt ashamed. He returned to the river, learning that being greedy can ruin friendships. True friends are trustworthy. Greed and dishonesty can harm relationships and leave us feeling lonely. And that's the story of the clever monkey and the crocodile. This tale reminds us that honesty and kindness make the strongest friendships, while greed only brings trouble.
Once upon a time, in a world where magic and reality intertwined, a brave young boy named Aaron lived in a small village near a vast and mysterious jungle. Though he was part of the human world, Aaron had a special bond with Syra, a wise and beautiful white tiger who lived deep within the jungle. They had been friends for years, meeting secretly to share stories and adventures. One day, a mean and greedy hunter named Rohan stormed into the jungle with his army of mercenaries. Rohan had heard tales of the heart of the forest, a magical gem called the Emerald of Eternity, which gave life to the entire jungle. Consumed by greed, Rohan wanted the emerald's power for himself. When he snatched it from its ancient resting place, everything started to change. The rivers dried up, trees lost their leaves, and all the animals felt the jungle dying. As the jungle withered, the animals gathered together in a worried huddle. Fear and despair hung in the air like a thick fog. "What are we going to do?" squeaked Tycho the mongoose, his eyes wide with fear. Syra, the wisest of all the animals, stepped forward. Her usually majestic figure now seemed weighed down with sorrow. "There is a secret," she began, her voice filled with gravitas. "The Emerald of Eternity keeps our jungle alive. Without it, we will all perish. We must get it back, but it will be a dangerous journey." The animals were silent, their hearts heavy with dread. No one wanted to face the terrifying hunter. But just when hope seemed lost, Cyrus' eyes brightened as she thought of her friend Aaron. She knew that he was brave and clever, and with his help, they might just have a chance. Syra called out to the winds, sending a message to Aaron, hoping he would hear her plea for help. In the village, Aaron was sitting in his room, daydreaming about his last adventure in the jungle, when he suddenly felt a familiar, urgent tug at his heart. It was Syra. He could feel her calling him. Without a second thought, he grabbed his satchel and ran to meet her. As Aaron entered the edge of the jungle, he found Syra waiting for him, her blue eyes filled with worry. She quickly explained what had happened, and Aaron's face grew serious. "We have to get the Emerald of Eternity back," he said, determination gleaming in his eyes. Aaron knew this task was too big for him alone, so he decided to invite his two best friends from school, Rina and Rahul. Rina was quick and agile, with a sharp mind, while Rahul was strong and fearless, always ready for an adventure. Together, the three friends set off on the journey to save the jungle. Aaron, Rina, and Rahul, guided by Syra, ventured deeper into the dying jungle. The once vibrant landscape was now dark and lifeless, filled with new dangers. Their first challenge was the Great Chasm, a huge and scary ravine. With Rina's agility and Rahul's strength, they managed to create a bridge using fallen vines and crossed safely. As they traveled, they encountered Hathi, a wise old elephant. "You will need this," Hathi said, handing Aaron a magical dagger. "At the right moment, this dagger will guide you." The dagger shimmered with a mysterious light, and Aaron felt its power coursing through his hand. They faced many challenges: venomous snakes, thick thorny bushes, and other dangers. But each time, they worked together, growing stronger and more determined. Finally, they reached the ancient ruins where Rohan and his mercenaries were camped. Rahul and Rina moved swiftly, taking down the mercenaries with surprising speed and agility. While Aaron confronted Rohan, who held the Emerald of Eternity, now glowing with dark power. The fight between Aaron and Rohan was intense. Aaron tried his best, but Rohan's magic was strong, and Aaron began to tire. The hope that had driven him started to waver. When it seemed that Aaron might lose, the magical dagger began to glow brightly. A voice echoed in Aaron's mind, "Now, Aaron, use me." With renewed strength, Aaron fought Rohan again. The dagger's magic cut through Rohan's dark power, its light pushing back the shadows. Finally, with a powerful strike, Aaron defeated Rohan, who fell to the ground, his grip on the emerald loosening as he succumbed to Aaron's bravery. Aaron took the Emerald of Eternity and placed it back in its rightful spot. Instantly, the jungle came back to life. Trees blossomed, and the air filled with the sounds of happy animals. All the jungle creatures gathered around Aaron, Rena, Rahul, and Syra, cheering and celebrating. Syra, her eyes shining with pride, stepped forward. "You have saved the jungle, Aaron. You and your friends are our true heroes." As the sun rose, casting a golden glow over the vibrant jungle, Aaron and his friends stood together, knowing they had protected their home. The jungle was safe once more, thanks to their bravery and teamwork, and the unbreakable bond between them and their wild friends.
Once upon a time, in a beautiful green meadow, there lived 3 strong bulls. They were the best of friends and spent their days grazing together, playing, and protecting each other. They were always happy because they knew they were safe as long as they stuck together. They were close, and no one could harm them. One day, a hungry lion noticed the 3 bulls from the edge of the forest. He saw how strong and healthy they were, and he thought to himself, "If I can get them alone, I can easily catch one of them." The lion knew that as long as the bulls stayed together, it would be impossible for him to attack them. So, he came up with a clever plan. The next day, the lion went to the bulls and said, "Why don't you all separate for a while and graze in different parts of the meadow? This way, you'll have more food, and you can enjoy the sunshine better." The bulls trusted the lion and decided to follow his advice. One by one, they moved to different parts of the meadow. As soon as the bulls were apart, the lion saw his chance. He quickly attacked the first bull, and because it was alone, the lion easily caught him. Then, the lion attacked the second bull. Now, only one bull remained. The last bull quickly realized his mistake. He remembered how strong they were together and rushed back to his friends. But it was too late. The lion had already taken them. The moral of the story is simple: unity is strength. When we stick together, we are stronger and safer. But if we separate and work alone, we may fall into danger. So, always stay united with your friends, family, and loved ones. Once upon a time, there was a big, quiet village in the middle of a beautiful forest. The people who lived there had long ago left, and now, the forest was taking over. Plants grew around the broken houses, and trees pushed through the cracked roads. In this village, a family of mice lived happily. There were little mice in the walls and under the floors, and they loved their peaceful home. Not far from the village, there was a sparkling lake where the animals went to drink. Every day, a herd of elephants would walk to the lake to drink and cool off. They were big and strong, with shiny tusks and long trunks. But to reach the lake, the elephants had to walk through the mice's village. The huge elephants' feet crushed the mice's homes, and the little mice would run away in fear. It made them sad to see their houses destroyed. They gathered together and went to their leader, the prince of the mice, for help. "What will we do if the elephants come again?" they asked. The prince of the mice stood up tall and said, "Don't worry. I will talk to the queen of the elephants." The prince bravely went to the lake where the elephants were drinking. He climbed high into a tree to speak to the queen. The queen of the elephants looked at the tiny mouse with surprise. "What can I do for you, little mouse?" she asked kindly. The prince said, "When you walk through our village, you hurt our homes and scare our families. Could you please find another way to the lake? We promise to be your friends and help you if you ever need us." The queen of the elephants laughed. "How can tiny mice like you help us?" she said. "But because you are brave, I will listen to you. I promise we will find a new path to the lake." The prince of the mice smiled, thanked the queen, and hurried back to the village. The mice worked together to rebuild their homes, and the elephants kept their promise. They no longer walked through the village. One day, trouble came. The elephants were trapped in hunters' nets. Many of the elephants, including the queen, were caught. Only one young elephant escaped and ran to the village. "Please help. The elephants are trapped," he cried. The prince of the mice remembered the promise and quickly called the other mice. "Our friends need us," he said. Together, the mice worked quickly and used their sharp teeth to chew through the nets. Soon, the elephants were free. The queen of the elephants was amazed. "I never knew such tiny creatures could do so much," she said. "Though you are small, you are mighty. Thank you, dear mice, for saving us." From that day on, the elephants and the mice became the best of friends, living in peace and harmony. Once upon a time, in a little village called Cedar, there lived a tiny ant named Luna. Luna was known far and wide for her hardworking nature and her kind heart. Each day, she would gather tiny pieces of grain, one by one, to prepare for the rainy season. Luna was careful, making sure her food store was full and ready for the colder days. The other animals in the village admired her for her patience and dedication. In the same village lived a big, lazy lizard named Leo. Leo was strong, but he was also very greedy. Instead of hunting for food, he liked to sneak around and steal from others. His favorite pastime was watching for anyone who wasn't paying attention so he could take their food. One sunny morning, Leo's eyes landed on Luna's perfectly organized grain store, and he thought to himself, "That's where I'll get my lunch today." Leo woke up that morning feeling hungry. His stomach growled, but instead of looking for his own food, he thought about the juicy grains in Luna's store. He stretched lazily, yawned, and slithered quietly toward Luna's hill. With a sly grin, Leo began digging a tunnel under the ant hill, thinking of how delicious the grains would be. Luna was busy outside, gathering more grains when Leo struck. He grabbed a big handful of the golden corn and was about to sneak away when he heard a small voice. "Shout, thief!" Luna stood tall on her hind legs, her tiny body filled with determination. "You greedy lizard! That food is my hard work," she cried. Leo froze, looking surprised. He quickly dropped some of the grains, trying to act innocent, but Luna wasn't fooled. She called for her friends, and in moments, hundreds of ants swarmed out from the hill. They were tiny, but they were fierce. Together, the ants chased Leo away. Leo ran as fast as his legs could carry him, but the ants were quick, and they clung to his scaly skin, biting with their sharp jaws. Leo cried out in pain, trying to shake them off, but it was no use. In his panic, Leo tripped over a stone and fell into a muddy puddle. The mud splattered all over him, and his beautiful green skin became covered in dirt. He looked silly, and the villagers laughed at him. Even his lizard friends teased him. Leo felt embarrassed, but he knew deep down that he had learned a lesson. He looked up at Luna, who had stopped the ants from biting him. "I'm sorry, Luna," Leo said, his voice soft. "I shouldn't have taken what wasn't mine." Luna smiled kindly at Leo. "I forgive you, Leo," she said. "But remember, stealing is wrong, and hard work is the true way to success." Leo, covered in mud but feeling wiser, promised Luna that he would never steal again. From that day forward, Leo worked hard to find his own food. He realized that being greedy and lazy only caused trouble, while honesty and hard work made everything better. And so, Luna's anthill became a symbol of cooperation and effort, while Leo learned to live a life of honesty, kindness, and hard work. Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest, there lived a kind and gentle rabbit. The rabbit loved helping others and shared whatever little food he had with those in need. His friends, the fox, the monkey, and the otter, admired him for his kindness. They often talked about how generous the rabbit was, even though he was small and had so little. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the trees, the rabbit looked up at the sky and saw the full moon shining brightly. Its silver light made the forest glow, and the rabbit thought, "I wish I could do something special for the moon." It watches over us every night and makes the world so beautiful. The next morning, an old, wise-looking man walked into the forest. He looked tired and hungry. The rabbit, fox, monkey, and otter quickly approached him. The man said, "I have traveled far and have no food. Can you share something to eat?" The otter dashed to the river and brought fish. The monkey climbed trees to gather sweet bananas. The fox found some apples on the ground. But the rabbit didn't have anything special to offer. Feeling sad, the rabbit said to the man, "I don't have much to give. But if you build a fire, I will jump into it so you can have me for a meal." The man was shocked by the rabbit's words. He looked at the little creature and asked, "Would you really do that for me?" The rabbit nodded. "I would rather go hungry than let you suffer." The man built a fire, and the rabbit bravely hopped toward it. But just as he was about to leap, the man stopped him. The man smiled kindly and revealed his true identity. "I am the moon, and I came to test your kindness. You have shown true selflessness." The moon gently picked up the rabbit and carried him high into the night sky. "You shall always be remembered for your generosity," he said. To this day, if you look up at the moon, you can see the rabbit's shape, shining brightly as a reminder of kindness and selflessness. True kindness comes from the heart, and selflessness is the most beautiful gift one can offer. One sunny morning, in a forest full of tall trees and chirping birds, a curious little raccoon named Riley was out exploring. Riley loved adventure and was always sniffing around for something exciting. As he wandered near an old oak tree, he heard a gentle buzzing sound. Looking up, he spotted a hollow in the tree glowing with golden honeycomb. Bees zipped in and out, busy with their work. "Wow!" Riley gasped, licking his lips. "Look at all that honey. It must be so sweet. I'll just have a tiny taste." Riley climbed up the tree carefully, gripping the rough bark. When he reached the hollow, he dipped his paw into the sticky honey. The taste was better than he imagined, rich and sweet like sunshine. Maybe just one more taste, he thought. But before he could dip his paw again, the buzzing grew louder. Suddenly, a swarm of bees flew out of the hollow, their wings whirring like tiny drums. They were not happy. "Buzz off!" the bees buzzed angrily, chasing Riley. He yelped and scrambled down the tree as fast as he could, with the bees right behind him. Riley ran and ran until he dived into a cool stream to escape their stingers. Sitting by the stream, Riley rubbed his sore paws. Why were they so mean? "I only wanted a little honey," he muttered. Just then, Oliver, the wise old owl, swooped down from a branch. "What's wrong, young one?" Oliver asked kindly. Riley explained what had happened. Oliver nodded thoughtfully. "The bees weren't being mean, Riley. They work hard to make their honey, it's their food for the winter. Taking it without asking is like stealing. How would you feel if someone took your dinner?" Riley's ears drooped. "I didn't think of that. I need to fix this." The next day, Riley gathered bright wildflowers and brought them to the bee tree. He stayed at a safe distance and said, "I'm sorry for taking your honey. These flowers are for you to make more." The bees buzzed happily around the flowers, and Riley felt proud. He had learned an important lesson. Always respect the hard work of others, and think before you act. Once upon a time, near a sparkling blue lake, there lived a talkative turtle named Togo. Togo loved to talk. He talked to the birds, the bugs, the breeze, even to himself. From morning till night, he never stopped chatting. One day, two geese flew down to rest by the lake. Their names were Gino and Gabby. They were gentle and wise, and they loved peace and quiet. But they didn't get much of that with Togo around. "Hi. I'm Togo. Do you like fish? I saw a frog jump today. Wanna hear a story? I know 100. The geese blinked. Gino whispered to Gabby, "He's friendly, but he sure does talk a lot." Days passed, and the geese grew fond of Togo despite all the chatter. But then, the weather began to change. "We must fly to a new lake," said Gino. "This one will soon dry up." Togo looked sad. "I'll miss you both so much." Gabby paused. "Why don't you come with us?" Togo's eyes lit up. "Really? I've always wanted to see the world. I can fly, well, I can't, but maybe I can hang on to your tails or—" "Wait," said Gino, smiling. "We have an idea. We'll carry a stick between our beaks, and you can hold on to it with your mouth. But," warned Gabby, "you must not talk while we fly. If you open your mouth, you'll fall." Togo nodded. "I can do that. I'll be silent. Quiet as a pebble. Not a word." Zip. The next morning, they took off. The geese held a stick between their beaks, and Togo bit down firmly in the center. Up, up, up they soared into the sky. Togo's eyes widened as he saw the forests, rivers, and hills below. It was amazing. People in a village below looked up and pointed. "Look at that flying turtle. What a strange sight." Togo wanted to say, "That's me. I'm flying." But he remembered, he must stay quiet. Then a group of children shouted, "That turtle looks silly." Togo's cheeks puffed up. He wanted to shout back, "I'm not silly." But he held tight. Then he heard laughter. "A turtle in the sky? That's the funniest thing I've ever seen." Togo couldn't take it anymore. He opened his mouth and yelled, "I'm not funniest." But the moment he opened his mouth, he let go of the stick. And down he fell, tumbling through the air. Luckily, he landed in a soft haystack. The villagers rushed over. Togo shook his head and looked up at the sky. The geese circled back and landed gently nearby. "Togo," said Gabby kindly, "we told you not to speak." "I know," groaned Togo. "I just couldn't help myself." Gino smiled. "You're safe, that's what matters. But now you've learned, sometimes, silence is the smartest thing to say." Togo nodded slowly. For once, he didn't say a word. From that day on, Togo still talked, but he also learned when to listen. Think before you speak, and sometimes, staying quiet is the wisest choice of all. Once upon a time, in a beautiful green meadow surrounded by trees and flowers, lived 4 cows. One was brown, one white, one spotted, and one black. They were more than just a herd, they were best friends. Every day, they grazed together, walked together, and rested under the shade of big leafy trees. They followed one simple rule, always stay together. Why? Because deep in the forest nearby lived a fierce tiger, clever and hungry. But as long as the cows stayed together, the tiger never dared to come close. Together, they were strong. In the shadows of the forest, the tiger sat silently, watching the cows with his sharp yellow eyes. He licked his lips. "For fat cows," he growled. "If only I could catch just one." But every time he tried, the cows noticed him. They stood side by side, heads up, horns forward. He knew better than to mess with them when they were united. So the tiger waited, and waited. And one day, his patience paid off. It was a warm afternoon when the cows began to argue. "I want to graze near the hill," said the brown cow. "No, "I'm going to the river," said the spotted cow. "I'm tired of always going with you all," muttered the white cow. "Fine," said the black cow, turning away. And just like that, for the very first time, the 4 cows split up and wandered off alone. Behind a tree, the tiger's eyes sparkled. At last, he whispered, "Now they're mine." The spotted cow was the first to be attacked. As she munched on soft grass, the tiger pounced out of the bushes and leapt on her back. She cried out as he clawed her side and bit her leg, injuring her badly. She struggled and limped away into the bushes. Then, the tiger found the white cow near the river. He crept low and sprang again, pouncing on her viciously. She tried to fight back, but the tiger scratched her face and knocked her over. The black cow was next. Before she could even react, the tiger rammed into her from behind, leaving her with deep scratches. Finally, he chased the brown cow, but she was fast and escaped toward the forest edge. All the cows were now scattered, scared, and injured. The tiger roared in triumph. The next day, as the tiger prowled the meadow again, something surprising happened. He saw all 4 cows, bruised, scratched, but standing tall and side by side. The spotted cow's leg was bandaged with leaves, the white cow had a scratch across her cheek, and the black cow limped slightly, but their horns were up and their eyes fierce. They had realized their mistake, and come back together. The forest animals had helped care for their wounds, and now they stood united once more. The tiger stepped forward. But the cows didn't back away. They stomped. They snorted. They took a step forward together. The tiger froze, and then turned and ran. From that day on, the cows never left each other's side again. They grazed together, rested together, and protected one another always. When you stay united, you are stronger than any danger. Never let small fights break big friendships. One sunny day in the forest, a tired donkey was walking along, his heavy load making him slow. As he wandered, he found something surprising on the ground, a lion's skin. It was big and fluffy, just the right size to cover his body. The donkey thought, if I wear this, maybe I can be as strong and scary as a lion. Excited by his clever idea, the donkey put the lion's skin over his own body. He looked in a pond and smiled at what he saw. I look just like a lion, he thought. Now, I can scare the other animals and be the king of the forest. Feeling brave, the donkey strutted through the forest, pretending to be a lion. He roared loudly, hoping the animals would be scared. The animals heard the roar and quickly ran away, thinking a lion was coming. The donkey was pleased and continued walking around, trying to act like a mighty lion. As the donkey walked, he met some animals in the forest. He roared again, trying to sound as fierce as possible. But then, something happened. The donkey let out a loud neigh, the sound of a donkey. All the animals turned around and looked closely at the lion. They quickly realized it wasn't a lion at all. "That's just a donkey in a lion's skin," the clever fox said, laughing. Soon, all the animals knew the truth, and the donkey was embarrassed. Feeling silly and ashamed, the donkey took off the lion's skin and walked away. He realized that no matter how much he tried to pretend, his true nature would always show. The animals may have been fooled for a while, but his name gave him away. He learned that it's better to be honest and true to who you are. If you liked the story, share this with your friends and family, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more exciting stories that teach us valuable life lessons.